Thanks for joining us for another episode of Moss Talks, where we have more conversations and more culture. I'm Joel, co-founder and creative director for Moss Magazine.
And I'm Sydney, co-founder and editorial director for Moss Magazine. All right, so let's start off with some topics and talk about some things that have been happening this week. You want to go first?
No, ladies first.
I want to bring up the idea of the art of being bored. So to combat doom scrolling and brain rot, people have started challenging themselves to sit still with no distractions. So no books, no music, no devices. They call it raw dogging boredom. And a take on freeing yourself from your devices. I really like this challenge because I just think, we rely on our devices so much that it's hard to think for yourselves, or I feel like taking a detox from devices can also help with your creativity and things like that. I feel like when you bored, ideas come to you, if that makes sense. So I want to ask you, what do you think of this act of boredom? What do you think it opens up for people?
I like it actually. I've seen multiple YouTube videos where they've challenged the person that's watching the video, so I just watch it and not do anything else. Like there was this girl that she did one, or basically it was like a 10-minute video, and she was like, she said, watch this video, don't go nothing else, don't have something else playing or be doing something else while you're watching the video. And in the video she explained how she took her attention span from 9 seconds, or however a TikTok video is, to maybe an hour or more than that, just by sitting and focusing on one thing. And so I thought it was very clever how she did it, because she got people to watch her video, but also in the video, she didn't go anywhere. She didn't do anything. It wasn't like a vlog.
Oh, she was just sitting and talking to
Yeah,
the
she
camera.
sat there and talked.
Oh, wow.
Or after she was done talking, that was it. You sat there and you just looked at whatever the background was, because there's nothing else to watch.
I feel like if I was watching her video with that prompt, I would want to comment as I watch. If you're on YouTube, you can as you're watching, you can leave a comment, with the timestamp. So I feel like, and I don't know if it's just because I'm used to watching stuff and having to take notes, but I feel like if she's just staring at, not staring at the camera, but just talking to the camera, I would want to talk back and just leave comments as I think of things as she's speaking.
I mean, yeah, I'm not the type to comment on a video while it's going. Maybe that's just me. There are times I want to, where it's something that I think is interesting or important to me. But most of the time, I'm just I just go through the video and let it happen.
Yeah.
But I will also say to that point too, I don't know if you've seen, I think we talked about it because I brought it up, but how there's a study also where they say playing games or doing something actually playing video games is better than doom scrolling on TikTok or Twitter or whatever. And I've been trying to apply it to myself because I play games. And so I was instead of being on TikTok all the time, I try to find something else that actually interests me.
Yeah, that gets your brain activity going.
Yeah.
Well, I like to, watch documentaries and binge watch things. And when I'm in that mood, I'm not even, my phone is under a pillow. I'm not even touching it. I'm fully locked in, just watching whatever is on the TV. Especially with documentaries, because I feel like those are things you actually have to pay attention to, because you miss a detail, you kind of miss what the story is or what they're deep diving into.
Yeah. But also another thing too is this, even though it's, when building new habits, it takes consistency or small growth. I feel for me, when things like this, it's kind of like a cold turkey thing. I'll stop doom scrolling, let's say for 2 days, 3 days, or maybe even a week, maybe a month, and I'll come back to it though. It's I'll be good at it. Then I'm all right. I missed this, or this one thing was good while it was happening, and it didn't change my life, so I'll go back to it if it didn't change my life. So I'm
Yeah.
I'll stop it. But
Do you think if you were to try this challenge, or just be more mindful about how much you're on your devices or how much you're scrolling, do you think cutting that out would help boost your creativity?
no, I would be. I guess I wouldn't say cutting it out. I would say in the way that I'm communicating or interacting with it. Like if how I say the same way I create my Pinterest feed, where it's like design, where it's fashion, whether it's cooking or how your Pinterest set up. Like how I interact with it is also how I how much time of it is valuable. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Like
Well,
if you were to try to like take an hour of not interacting with your devices and like just sitting down, do you think in that hour like ideas would come to you?
I would say it wouldn't change the amount of ideas I have. I would say because there's a need for it, so cutting an hour of it out wouldn't change me going back and doing it after the hour.
So do you think you would gain anything at all within the hour? Like just in
I was
general?
let me. I'm gonna say it like this. I would say the hour itself wouldn't change. Like it wouldn't change anything because how I'm trying to say this because it's how I'm interacting with the app.
No,
But
no,
but
there's
but
no
but
apps.
but that's what I'm saying. But it depends on what I'm doing during that hour. Like, am I dedicating it to creativity? Am I dedicating it to doing a task?
You're
If
doing nothing.
then it wouldn't change my creativity. Because if I can't be creative during that hour, then what's the point of me just sitting there?
Or you just sit with your thoughts.
Well, can I write down these thoughts?
Yeah.
But that's creative. That's creative time then. If because you're saying sitting down doing nothing, but I'm saying if I'm sitting down doing nothing, my mind's gonna think about stuff I can do or possibly be creative in or
Yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah. And then like in that hour, once you're done, you get up and you're like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this.
This is agitating me because if I'm doing that, I'm thinking about all the stuff I could be doing with this hour.
Yeah, but then these are thoughts you wouldn't normally have where you would have just been scrolling on your phone or on your device or whatever. You know what I mean? Like these
Yeah,
things are like coming to you and you're like, oh, I need to get up and go do this when I'm done with this
and you
hour.
say this is what I'm saying. Yes, it is time that I could be thinking about the things or thinking about things I could be doing, but the key thing that's missing from your scenario for me is that I am thinking about all this stuff, but while I'm thinking about it, I could be planning it. Like not in my head, but I could be writing it down. I could be putting in my notes. I could be doing something to make it actually productive.
I see
That
what
makes
you're
sense.
saying.
I
Yeah.
would say, I would say the only the I would say if I could dedicate that hour to doing something productive instead of just solely focusing on deleting or getting away from the apps, then that would be different.
And that was a pushback on this too, in the article I read. But yeah, I would add one more thing, but I know you have topics too.
I would say, if it was time to focus on something, that's different. Like
That's called 0 hour. I started doing that.
I would say, like it would be easier for me to get away from the apps if it was dedicated to something else.
Yeah, like journaling or moving your body
Yeah,
or
or planning or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like then
That's
that would be
another
different.
trend. That's on the other side of
I
this
would
boredom
say during
trend.
that hour, it would have to be something like how I say,
Productive.
as me, I could sit and do nothing for an hour. Definitely, definitely, I could sit here and just be here. I probably fall asleep, but
You can't fall asleep either. That's one of the things too.
I can't dream.
You cannot fall asleep within this boredom
You know what's
hour, 30
well?
minutes.
Basically, I'm just gonna be daydreaming the whole time.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bad trip, but anywho, on to my topic. Basically, women's baseball is returning, which is great because if you know anything about women's baseball, it hasn't been here since 1954.
You mean professionally?
Professional baseball.
Is it not called softball?
No, women's professional baseball, not with the big yellow ball. With the,
So they have the same ball as baseball.
I'm assuming so, but yeah, professional baseball hasn't been back since 1954. That's when the last game was played, but they're bringing it back, and I think they just had a draft not too long ago, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Well, I say sometime in November. I don't know when this video come out, but sometime in November. But the way it's going is there are going to be 30 to 40 games, 7 innings, 15 players per team. There are so far there are 4 teams. There's Boston, L.A., New York, and San Francisco. They're kind of like major hubs. But also one key point with the league It was founded by Justine Siegel. If you know anything about her, she's the first women's coach in the MLB. So in the men's league, she's the first women's coach, which is great because she probably is going to bring a lot of good eyes to the sport, a lot of good ideas, a lot of interesting key points that are brought from men's sport, which makes it so big, let's say. But the question I want to ask you are, what are your thoughts on women's professional sports? Like good, bad, are there any precautions to it that you think of?
No, I support women's sports all the
I mean,
way,
yeah, it's support.
especially in the professional realm. Because as a dancer, like in the dance world, it's like after college, that's it for you. There's unless you want to go and like be a performer, tour, or be on Broadway. There's not a lot of opportunities, to be a professional dancer in the way that you were like in college or in high school, like competing or on a dance team and whatnot. So I always support having professional leagues for women to continue their sports or their interests or whatnot. I think it will bring more eyes to baseball. Look, I know nothing about baseball, but I think I could see myself getting into it if it was like women.
I would say the reason I ask you that question is because I don't know if you caught my point where Justine Siegel, coming from MLB, is where most of the time, not all the time, but in the past few sports that I've seen that have come to women's professionals, is that they'll go into the male fields. They'll learn from the men, like how to make the sports big, how to do all these things to make it, which are great things to learn, but they're things learned from men's sports that shouldn't be carried over to women's sports. Like some of the attitudes men have, some of the things they have going on through the season, like the scandals, all the things that are broadcasted about professional players that shouldn't be broadcasted.
Well, I think that will happen. That's just human stuff. Like that will happen with women. That will happen with women, like scandals and stuff.
I'm not even just saying like scandals, like professional athletes fighting. I'm saying that shouldn't be a praised part of the sport. Like when it comes to women's sport, I think you should let women be women and not try to make it this big whole facade like they do in men's sports.
Woman man thing. I think that's just how humans are, and when you're like athletes are naturally competitive, so yeah, there'll be fights no matter who you are. That's just a human thing.
I mean, yeah.
But I see your point about her starting in the men's league and taking what she's learned and experienced and making her own league. And I'm sure she'll take things that she liked and then she'll try to change the things she didn't like.
And this is just not to disregard Justine or whatever she's learned. It's just things that I've seen in the past. But yeah, that's all I have for that one.
Okay.
I'm kind of interested to see how it goes because there are a lot of different things with it. Because going back to 7 innings, men have 9 innings. So I'm like, what's the big?
In softball, it's 7.
No, in the women's professional baseball, it's 7 innings.
Well, that's like with women's basketball, their quarters and stuff are set up differently than men. Don't really know why.
There needs to be more research on that because again, it's 2 innings difference. Like there's not that much difference in baseball. Like I would say, you wouldn't get tired that much more often in baseball.
Especially if you're a pro athlete.
And like you maybe running the bases, or maybe catching a pop fly would tire you out more. I would say the only reason I see the reason for the innings change is because of pitchers. Because sometimes pitchers can go 9 innings and that will like tire them out. Because again, you're whipping your arm for 30, 40 pitches an inning, and then you have to come back and do it again the next inning.
This is where I just start nodding because I have no idea what you're saying right now.
But yeah, I'm just interested to see how the structure goes. But anyways, you can go with your point.
Well, the next topic I want to cover is kind of, I don't know if it's still developing or what, but I'm pretty sure this happened this week. The government is telling travelers not to wear certain items when they're in the airport. So the U.S. Department of Transportation has rolled out a new plan they believe will bring civility back to air travel. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
A word I believe they used. The secretary of this Department of Transportation, who is also a white man, stated, "I call this dressing with some respect. Whether it's a pair of jeans and a decent shirt, I would encourage people to dress a little bit better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little bit better. Let's not try to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport." So this kind of feels targeted towards the youth, people of color. And what does comfortable clothing really have to do with unruly behavior?
Yeah.
Especially like if you know you're going on an airplane, your flights are a couple hours long. You know, I mean, I get, you know, dressing nice or whatever, but I'm not necessarily going to be in a pair of
Yeah,
jeans.
I'm definitely not gonna be a pair
You
of jeans
know,
on a flight.
especially if it's an overnight flight. You know, so I just want to know like your thoughts on this.
Well, I think I'm gonna preface with context is necessary because there are a lot of ways that this argument can be taken. But in terms of my point of view, just like hearing that overall statement, um, I think honestly, I do feel kind of wronged by it because I'm like, if I'm going to the airport, I'm wearing sweatpants. At the lowest point, I'm wearing pajamas. That's the lowest. Cause I never wear pajamas out in public, but I do wear sweatpants that may be deemed as pajamas. But like, I think people should be allowed to wear comfortable clothes. Like, I get it if someone's showing too much. Like, if they're, I don't know what they could be wearing, but if they're wearing something that's not fit for the public, let's say, like if a child cannot look at them in public, then they shouldn't be wearing it. That's just my thought on it, because again, it's a flight. Like
Yeah.
you ask the people to go get on a bus in the sky and be on there for hours with like no leg room, somebody next to them who may be sick, a child screaming, and then somebody who may have cats, dogs, be exposed to allergies they're not meant to be exposed to in public. Limited cabin space. They got to put their bag next to somebody else's. They got to have certain bottles of certain size. They got to meet all this criteria to get on a bus in the sky, and you want them to wear something that is appealing to you.
Yeah, I don't think this statement I think is honestly just stupid because I don't think your travels dictate your behavior. I think it's more so the environment itself. Airports are very stressful. You're in there for a long time. You have to get there way ahead of your flight. And like if people are being mean
And
to you or like you're just going through a lot, that just adds stress to the situation. And I think that leads more to behavior outbreaks than it
can
does on what you're wearing.
can I add one more thing? Think about this scenario. Like think about if you're going on a flight. Let's say you're leaving your abusive dad and you're going to your mom's house. You have 5 pairs of clothes to your name, all of which are pajamas and a business suit that you packed. Think about this. You wearing pajamas to the airport, and airport security tells you you can't fly because you're wearing your Grinch pajamas and your hoodie. They like literally you're up there, arms out, and they like you can't fly. You gotta leave.
That's
Like think about it.
discrimination.
Exactly. Like think about that. Like
This
that's crazy.
scenario
That like
is interesting.
I'm just saying, like you only got 5 pairs of clothes to your name, and like there, how I say this. This is where it also becomes a question of like, because I think there was a recent discussion about this too about buses, because like there like certain people can be allowed on buses, like homeless or people that are unhoused. Like it's just discrimination, like you said. Like it's if someone can't get on a bus with the clothes they were in, you're basically saying they can't get in the airport.
Yeah,
Like I don't think that's fair,
that's not.
because someone needs to go across the country or even somewhere else, and a plane is their best option. They should not be allowed to be kicked off the flight because they were in pajamas.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, if they were in a bikini, I'm sorry, no, thank you. But like, it's just, or like if a man is wearing a tank top and boxers, that's kind of questionable.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, most establishments, it's like you need to have shoes on,
Yeah.
you need to have pants on, a shirt on, but don't, like, it doesn't matter what type of shirt or pants, you just need to, you know, be
Yeah.
decent to be out in public.
And like, I think that should be the base criteria. That should be the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like, just how to say, if you see somebody, should be like if a man is there without a shirt, like, sir, can you put a shirt on? Or sir, did you pack pants? Can you put pants on? Or even I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how to instantly get rid of the situation. Y'all should have free sweatpants, free sweatshirts, or even a small fee, like $5 for a sweatshirt, $5 for sweatpants, if you're gonna come on this flight, or you're gonna try to come on this flight with no shirt and no pants. Like I'm saying, like a small fee. Y'all better not be charging no $30 for those sweatpants. They will,
They will, duh.
but I'm saying
But I will say
that's one way to combat that.
on a different side of all of this, though,
Mm-hmm.
I do think this topic is interesting because I feel like we're also starting to see the very beginnings of a new fashion era, especially for like our generation.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the past 10 years or so, it's been leisure wear. Athleisure wear has been really popular, and that's kind of like what everyone wears in their day-to-day lives.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, literally, I think by 2026 and like onward for the next 10 years, we're going to see a complete switch around in that. And that comes from like the quarter zip thing versus the Nike Techs, and just the fact that I think people are like stepping away from their leisure wear and they're going to start, trying to, like, I guess we're bringing back the business casual and the club era again. So I think it's interesting that this whole conversation and announcement has come out at the time where I also see that trend evolving.
Yeah, I would say I'm not gonna speak on the trend of clothes changing because I'm gonna be an old head when it comes because that reminded me of how people will find a hoodie from 2000s and be like, oh, it's vintage, and I'm like I'm tired of people labeling clothes as vintage and then upselling it or like trying to make it seem like it's this lost archive. Like, granted, some things are sacred, but it should not be upsell.
I'm not saying that
And
at all.
I know you're not saying that, but that's just where my mind went.
Oh,
But yeah, I think also with the business casual or the business professional look that's coming back, I think it's necessary. I missed it,
well, we're
honestly.
just like like it's been 10 years. Like, it's natural that we want to move into cycles and different things. So.
Yeah, I'm proud of people getting the quarter zips. I think I'm kind of late, but I'm proud of them.
I'm just very curious to know, like, what is like the women version of the quarter zip. Like, now the guys are very much into quarter zips. I
Maybe
wonder
it's
what we're gonna start getting into on like
yeah.
the feminine wear.
I mean, y'all can wear quarter zips
Oh
too.
yeah, of course.
I'm
But
thinking
I'm
like
just curious, like, what the two big staples will be, like
I,
masculine versus feminine.
I feel like it won't be a, a women trend, if that makes sense. Because I think in just my personal opinion, y'all have already done it. Like, y'all been doing it.
Well, trousers are coming back, like in the workplace and
That's what I'm
stuff,
saying. Like
and
that's
yeah,
I've been seeing
a
that.
nice pair of jeans
Well,
versus sweatpants.
let me say that again too, because I'm not thinking about in terms of trending. I'm thinking in terms of what I've been seeing.
Well, I'm not thinking even I'm literally thinking, like, what are our next staple items? Like, our staple items have been sweatpants and sweatshirts for 10 years. So going into the next decade of wear, like, I wonder what's going to be the next kind of staple items in everyone's closets now. What type of jeans are we going to get into? What type of pants? Type of tops, blouses, accessories? Are we going to go into belts? Or,
Yeah.
like, how are we going to, like, really start dressing going into the next era
JC
of
Penney,
fashion?
JC Penney belts, Macy's. This is your time.
No, I don't know about that one. We'll just force some brands to get onto the wave.
But the next point. I want to talk about kids shows, specifically.
This is my jam, my
I know
passion.
it's your jam. Specifically, PBS. PBS just did not PBS. I forgot what show it was. I think it might be Jimmy Fallon or something. One of those talk shows. But Ziggy Marley, the creator of the song, the author theme song, just performed the song live again. If you don't know, the name of the song is called "Believe in Yourself," and so it just turned 30 years old. And I want to ask, what do you think? Like, from seeing old shows, old kids shows versus kids shows now, what do you think may be missing from the shows? Like, what do you think are some things that could be added to the new generation?
I have some thoughts. I think the biggest thing that is missing is, honestly, these shows run based on the people running the shows. So I think what's missing is adults taking kids seriously and, like, giving them actual good content and storylines. I also think what's missing is that space for kids and teens and tweens to have their own form of media, their own things that they're observing and absorbing. Sorry, y'all. I think that's what's really missing is, like, people don't take kids media seriously at all. They don't give them stories. They don't, like, literally children have to learn. They have to get exposed to different situations, different stories. And I feel like our media growing up gave us that opportunity to see
Yeah.
different perspectives and different scenarios. And like, of course, to us as adults, it's like, why are we going to do an episode on bullying? You shouldn't be bullying, duh. But like, kids don't know that. And so you have to just hold their hand and walk them through that so they can watch something and be like, oh, this isn't cool, or oh, I didn't know that, or you know.
I think the reason I'm bringing this up also is because most 90% of the shows that we watched back then had some kind of moral to the story or a reason
Yeah.
for showing it, and like it molded them to either like believe in themselves or
Yeah.
like go for that thing or show kids why certain things are bad, or also it showed like an alternate like parenting point, because when you weren't being parented or in school, you were watching these shows and
Yeah.
you were like, oh, if I touch the fire, I'm actually going to get hurt. Then, or like if I sneak away, then I actually could get in trouble and bad things can happen.
Yeah,
And like
it's. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say one more thing.
that's, I think that's the key thing is missing. But also, this is another point, and this is again my personal opinion. But some generation that grew up on the same shows that we watched, I think they're creating shows for kids. They're making new things for the younger generation to see, but it's on a different point of emphasis. Because think about this: like when we watch Raven's show, we see like Raven will go in the past, like she see different visions, but they wouldn't understand the moral of what may be happening in the episode. They'd be like, oh,
You lost me.
they may not be thinking of the morals in the episode. They're thinking more of what Raven's wearing. Oh, Raven put on all these outfits in these shows.
Oh, I see what you're
The visions
saying.
were so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, the interaction she had with her friends was so cool.
Or like her catchphrase.
Yeah, I'm
or
about to say
whatever.
it's. What I'm saying is, the people. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that from what I've seen currently in media, where it's more focused on,
The aesthetic
yeah, like what's cool
versus
or
the
like
content.
what may have been missed. Like, yeah, the aesthetic is perfect because like 2000s media is a whole lot different than current media, or even 90s media or 80s media.
Well, I mean, I feel like that whole focus on aesthetic is like also the problem with us
Agreed.
now.
Agreed.
Of like social media and stuff. All we care about is aesthetic and not content anymore. So, like I was saying, like it also depends on the people who are actually behind kids' media. They have to see value in the actual content itself. You can't just be stuck on if it looks good or whatever. Like you have to develop actual stories and storylines for kids.
Yeah.
And for their brains to understand and comprehend. Because also, like you touched on, there's probably also not a lot of parenting going on anymore
Yeah.
within the house. And like you said, when you're not at school or you're not around friends, you would be watching TV, and your TV would have lessons that you could learn from. And then it would come on all the time over and over again. So like it's actually sticking to you. But I also wanted to bring up, like when we were kids, everyone knew like the same like storybook,
Yeah.
you know, stories or whatever, or like poems and rhymes and whatnot. And I feel like, you know, those little things like Humpty Dumpty or whatever, it's like, okay, childish, but like there's a reason why kids, you know, hang on to that type of stuff, or why we continue to share those stories with them, because there's lessons in them,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. Hopefully someone out there listening gets on board and tries to fix kids' media.
Also, yeah, because like I even indulge in kids shows, like even for shows, for my personal favorite is the Amazing World of Gumball, and like even the episodes like that where it's like on like the extreme side of kids media, or like how to say animation for kids, that it still has a point. It still has like something that people should learn. It's not just dragons, fire, fist fights, and all this stuff going on. It's actually just like once Darwin gets in trouble, Gumball actually realizes he needs his brother, or like when they steal the parents' car, like they realize, oh, mom actually needs us to get to work. And it's just a lot of moments in media where people could actually learn. And like we talked about this today, reading is an important skill.
Yeah.
Not even like physical reading, but like reading into situations, reading into life, reading into the things that you may be consuming, and just honestly just parenting because after you leave, in my opinion, again, after you leave your parents' house, parenting doesn't end.
Oh yeah, no.
I'll say you start
It's just a new
adulting.
new era.
Yeah, I'm about to say you start adulting. What do? You learn to pay bills. You learn
Take on
to take on
responsibilities, to
responsibility.
cook, to clean.
Yeah, you learn those things that your parents might have already taught you, but you're parenting yourself to be able to accomplish these things on a daily basis.
You're learning how to navigate friendships, how to navigate a career.
Hmm.
And those are things like your parents have done before, so they can give you advice.
And also, you learn that everyone that you hang around won't raise the same.
Oh yeah. Which
Which
is which is also that goes back to the point of kids and media.
hmm
Like you were saying, people our age, we all grew up watching the same
that is
things.
true.
So like even
Hmm.
though we're all raised different, we do like if it's like, oh, you watch this show, you watch that show, okay,
Hmm.
like, we probably have a little bit of the same
Yeah.
thoughts, or we know the same lessons or whatever.
Hmm.
Versus now it's like kids are just online, and like online is massive. So there's a lot of different
Hmm.
I don't like just different types of thoughts and things in these little kids' heads, and
Yeah.
things that they should not be consuming.
I would say shout out to those platforms that have kids modes. Shout out to y'all for real, because like they have them on TVs, they have them on different apps. Like you can put them on certain phones, where parents can control what the kid sees,
Hmm.
or even just on the internet. It can be like they can put filter the internet just specifically for the child, so they won't
I
be exposed to all these things.
also think it's important that we say kids media, yes, but then there's also different demographics within kids and
Hmm.
age ranges.
Yeah.
So what you're watching at 3 and 4, like a
Hmm.
3-year-old should not be watching what like an 8-year-old is watching, even though they're both kids.
Hmm.
Like it's also like that point of it too. Like yes, kids media, but then you have to go in and be like, okay, what shows are we developing for this age group? What shows are we developing for that age group?
Yeah.
You know?
I would say also because like, but this goes for parents too, parents especially, because little Billy could be
Little
watching.
Bill.
Say what?
Little Bill?
Little Billy.
Oh, you're just saying a
Yeah,
name.
I would say a
Okay.
kid. Little Billy could be watching. I don't know what's the show.
Backyardigans?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Little Billy could be watching the Backyardigans while Jerome over here is watching the PJs. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that for different demographics, it could be different things, but also it's up to the parents to make sure the kids watching the right thing.
Yeah. That's why
Because
on my Princess TV, I only have 4
that's,
channels, y'all.
I would say also because the thing that happened recently, I would say recently in terms of like the last decade or more, is like we've seen a big amount of animation shows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a huge amount. 'Cause remember, Family Guy, The Simpsons,
Like adult
um, like
animation?
adult animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's become mixed where it seems like hey, this animation, this be good, this be fine, and then kids actually getting that. Because I remember when I go to high school or even middle school, kids be talking about South Park. I'm like, what's South Park?
But that was also the importance of having like a channel like Comedy Central, where like
Mhm.
even as a kid I understood that's an adult channel.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go watch Nickelodeon. Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna go and watch Comedy Central until I'm like 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
I also understood that though at a young age. Like
Mhm.
I could tell the difference between animation that was meant for an older audience versus animation I could consume and watch.
So what we're getting here is raise your kids right. That's what we're getting.
And put on those restrictions,
Yeah.
please.
Dispose of when it's time.
I agree. Media is very important. What you consume is very important.
Mhm.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Moss Magazine.
All right. Anyways, that's all we have for y'all right now. But tune in the next segment where we talk to Esper about his music and how he's impacting the world around us. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Moss Talks. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Esper about his journey as a music artist. Thank you, Esper, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, your name is Esper World. What was the thought process behind choosing your name? What does it represent to you?
Cool, cool. So Esper is a name I've been calling myself for pretty much as long as I can remember now. I mean, just for background, it's really nerdy. Espers are people who could do telepathy, telekinesis, uh, pre-recognition, all that stuff. And in school I was labeled gifted, so I don't know. I just kind of made the connection and have been rolling with it since. The world part, I recently actually last year changed my name from Esper Beats. Um, I don't make beats. I've never made beats. I don't know where that came from. It was just there. But it was time for a change, and I was going through a lot of different words and kind of the impact I want to have. And, my primary goal as an artist and as a person is to inspire. To inspire what? Not just South Florida or not just the United States, but the world. So it just kind of, I liked how it sounds phonetically. And I also like kind of the, the implication there that this is big. It's not yeah.
It's worldwide. Yeah, I
Yeah.
catch you. I catch what you're putting down. I get it.
I also think it's really cool that even as a young kid, like you kind of knew who you were and you chose to be who you wanted to be. So I think that in itself is pretty powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I've been writing songs for 16 years, 16
Mm.
actual years since I wrote my first verse. So, and from the beginning, I kind of just knew.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up because the
Yeah.
next question, who were the artists or influences that shaped you as a music artist?
Oh, yeah. I actually know this really well. In the beginning, it was three: Kid Cudi, Childish Gambino, and Lupe Fiasco. They all had something that I felt like just really resonated with me. Childish Gambino, it was how personal his lyrics were and how he would just say the things that I felt people would only think. And I'm specifically referring to Camp, that album, which has aged interestingly, but I had a real profound connection with it, and he's continued to be one of my all-time favorite artists. I have a poster of the album artwork for Awaken My Love, like right in front of me here. So, um, yeah, 10 out of 10 album. So, Childish Gambino, Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor, and The Cool are just two astronomical albums in terms of the wordplay and in terms of just the real world topics that he was talking about that I wasn't seeing to like talked about as in depth as he was. And Kid Cudi was just a man who was not afraid to wear his emotions on his sleeve. And, Man on the Moon 1 and 2 were just out of this world also. Um, yeah, I just the feelings of sadness that he made me feel, and also the feelings of joy. Like you really felt the emotion come through in the song. So those three were are landmark artists and albums for me forever.
Yeah, and I can definitely see those influences come through. And I like that you touched on Kid Cudi and the fact that like he's not a afraid to put his emotions out there. And I think that's important for men to see, for Black men to
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
and not feel the need to like mask their feelings or put them behind, drugs or alcohols, but actually talk them through, and share them out with the world because you don't know who you would touch or help to. So I love that.
But so you make music fun again. Like I was listening to one of these songs on TikTok. I was like, hold on. I was like, I'm digging this. So when you're creating a new song, what goes through your mind?
so honestly, typically it starts with it usually starts with the beat 9 times out of 10. And that's just to say I'm always listening to beats. I'm always in some amount of songwriting. Like when I'm in the car, I'm playing beats and I'm freestyling, I'm coming up with bars and melodies and whatnot. So I'm overall a happy person. Like on just any given day, I'm happy, not for any particular reason. And I think just the joy I feel and the gratitude of waking up every day just translates into the songs I make a lot of times.
I say, I say, is there like a specific place you go to when you make songs? Is it always at home? 'Cause I know you said it in the car. Like, is there a certain place you always go to most of the time?
As far as when I'm recording, it's typically at home now. Over at the beginning of this year, it was actually in hotels. I would rent a hotel room and record there, because there was a fire at the last place I lived. Things got crazy for a little bit. But yeah, it's not typical. It's not a typical studio environment. by any means, and I typically record totally alone, record, mix, and master myself. I think when I'm experimenting a lot and just doing things that sound really crazy, or when I decide to be meticulous and just record the same 8 bars over for 70 takes, which is a real thing I've done, I don't want to put anyone else through that. So it's like I'll just have this be a me thing, and I'll bring people in one time once I'm ready. I have something I'm ready to present also.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to ask, are you like self-taught then, since you pretty much do the whole process by yourself?
For the most part, I'm self-taught. I did take a couple semesters of Pro Tools slash audio engineering um, classes when I was at FAMU. Um, so that did help. But at that point, I was already let me see, 8 or 9 years in already. So it was kind of just adding some polish there. And I'm always polishing, but it did help. Definitely helped having someone I could play my mixes for and be like, oh, you could change this and that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, cool. So how would you define yourself in the music scene? Are you like a storyteller, an entertainer?
Hmm. I'd say I'm an entertainer. I don't do too much storytelling typically. I feel like the story I want to tell, which is I am working on something that is a bit story driven, but it would be across songs, across a project, and like a story of me like a time in my life rather than like a good kid, Mad City, boom. Here's a fictional, semi-fictional narrative sort of deal. Um, yeah, I guess I'm an entertainer. My goal is to make people feel. So far, it's been a lot of happy. I want you to feel happy and smile, but I'm also eager, not eager. I don't want to say eager to make people feel sad, but I have some deeper some music that invites some more deeper connections with maybe some not so positive emotions for the sake of reflection and self-growth, that I'm eager to start putting out. So there's also like the other side of the coin. We can't be happy every day.
Yeah, true. But I definitely see the entertainer come through just like because we stalk everyone. So just looking on your Instagram and stuff, like looking at the way you push promo for one of your EPs with like the old school announcer,
The
talking
commercial,
about yes,
yeah.
that was so good, so fun, so nostalgic. And then just going deeper and seeing how like you're releasing visuals for all the new songs you put out. Like I can definitely see that entertainment element come through. And it works. I'm
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly entertained, just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely I come from my whole family has some musical ability. So I definitely, not that they taught me how to, rap or sing, but it's in the DNA. And I definitely, every Sunday we would get together, do talent shows. So I say all that to say I like having people's eyes on me. I like putting on a show for people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. But in the future, when people think of Esper World 5 years from now, what do you want them to associate your name with?
Oof. Mm. That's something, I'm kind of trying to figure out is how wide I want to expand because I feel like I listen to all genres of music and so I have some inclination to make all genres of music, but for the sake of being able to answer a question like that and having there be a consensus on that, I'm still figuring it out. I think this year was a lot of experimentation to see what works and what doesn't work and what I even like having released out to the world and what I don't, because sometimes I don't know. Like, oh, I like this song, but maybe it's not a song for everyone until I put it out, and then I'm like, maybe I didn't want that to be for everyone. So I think I'm still figuring that part out. But I know I just want to make people feel and have a real have there be a real connection. Right? Yeah, that's all I got for now.
I would say, for the sake of probably just being, what do you call it, cliche, You just want to make people feel something. That's
Yeah,
really what I'm getting from here. But
yeah, yeah.
I'll say we'll dial it in later. It'll
Okay.
come to you. But for now, let's say make people feel something.
Yeah.
I
But I'm
oh
sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. I just have one more question. Is there anything you can share with our audience about what's coming up for you? This will release in November, so if you have
Mhm.
something planned for next year too, that you want to hint at, feel free.
Yeah, well, for this year, my this whole Worldwide Wednesdays thing is really just a way to try to get some music out there because the rate I make music at is insane. I'll make, 10 songs at a time and then 2 weeks later make another 10 songs. So trying to wrestle with that amount of stuff. So this year, I'm just doing a song every 3 weeks. Next year, I have a couple ideas floating around. Maybe I'll switch from doing a song every so often to like a 2 or 3 track EP every so often. Um, or again, going back to that whole sense of harmony and community, I've been thinking about what if I try to do like a big collaboration mixtape with just like everyone I know in South Florida and just like 18 tracks and it's just all the homies and it's like one of those like this is South Florida. Not that I don't know if I'm the right person to do it, but I don't think anyone else is trying to do it. So that's also something. Maybe I'll do all of that.
Yeah. Well,
That you
either
say
way,
sounds
I'm
great.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
yeah, literally excited. Even you hear talking about the collective album kind of reminds me of the new album from Metro Boomin. I feel like he kind of
Yeah,
did that in a way. So I
yeah.
think that would be so cool coming from you and your side of Florida.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna move to our next segment, which is our quick fire. Basically, when I ask a question, the first thing that comes to your mind, that's gonna be your answer. Okay.
All right.
All right. If Esper World had a theme park, what would the first ride be?
Oh man, I like the Hulk ride from like Universal. I'd probably try to rebrand that into something, but also the whole I don't know if you've ever been, but the rides and you walk in and it's like this whole elaborate world they bring you into before you can just get on the roller coaster. Something like that. Like you have to ride that roller coaster to get into the theme park.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But next question, a hidden hobby.
Hidden hobby, skateboarding. I've been skateboarding. I started skateboarding the same year I started songwriting. So 16 years. I am not that good though.
It's okay. All right. Studio or stage?
Oh, stage. Yeah, the again, I love having people's eyes on me. So yeah, having a period of time where everyone has to look at me and I can kind of do whatever. And yeah, stage for sure.
Who would you play in a biopic?
Who would I play? Oh, dang, Childish Gambino? Is that I know I talked about him already, but
No, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
And then last
Let me
one
think.
is favorite cartoon.
Favorite cartoon. Ooh, wow. I'm an anime nerd. That's tough. My first instinct, the first thought that came to my head was Naruto. That was the first anime I ever watched. So, and it's an amazing story. So we'll go Naruto.
Okay. I'll say, okay. So going back through this, first of all, the first one is already a groundbreaking idea. 'Cause I don't think there's anybody's really done that, like with the theme park,
Yeah.
because most of the time you get on a golf cart or you walk into there. Like, I don't think there's
hmm
anything else other than that. Plus,
I know
because
that. Yeah. There's like I mean, Florida. We have both Disneyland, Disney World, and Universal, and a bunch of others. But there was this Harry Potter one that took you from like there was something where you get from one side to another side on a ride. I'm not remembering it specifically, so maybe I'm just jacking their steez a little bit, but it's all right.
I think
I
I
think that'd
think
be cool.
I think some people. I think there's like two places. I don't know if they're in the U.S., but I know they have like a train on site. So you go from the parking lot train to the wherever
Oh,
the location is, or like wherever part of the park you want to go to.
yeah,
But yeah, I would say yeah. So yeah, hopefully no one steals our idea. So hopefully you can jump on that before they do.
yeah.
So skateboarding, there's a lot to unpack here. So do you do tricks or do you just you just ride?
No. I'm at the skate park. I'm doing tricks.
Okay. Do you go down the what do they call it? The half pipe?
The half five and the quarter fives. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm decent. I'm decent. I try to downplay it so people don't expect me to be out here tray flipping 10 stairs, but I'm pretty decent. Yeah, it's a good way to exercise. It's gotta move the body, and there is that connection now it's more so between like skateboarding and hip hop, shout out Lupe Fiasco, Kick
Hmm.
Push,
Yeah,
there's that connection.
yeah. Especially like I skateboard. I just go in a straight line. That's all. I go straight line. I turn corners. That's it. I don't need to lift no 10 inches off the ground. I'm good. Me and the world are one. But when I was skating, I think a lot of Mob Deep too.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But so studio stage, kind of a given. We knew stage was coming.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you thinking? Are we thinking of like stadiums? Are we thinking like small venues? What stage are we thinking of?
Oh yeah, definitely stadiums when I get to the point when I write songs, I'm definitely thinking about um how they're going to sound performed live. And when I'm stacking ad libs and kind of making what I call a chant, where I'll have the main vocal saying something and then I'll have two or three of me saying it too. That's kind of like the hint to people listening that like if you see this live, you're supposed to chime in there. You're supposed to say it too.
Yeah,
When I do performances, I don't even say my last name. I just say, "Hi, my name is Esper," and they have to say "World." So
that's fair.
yeah,
I really like that you're already considering that, like when you're writing songs, because I feel like some artists don't even think about that part. And a live performance can honestly make someone like fall in love with you as an artist. Like it can change, a person's perspective on you. So I really like that you're considering that element of your work.
yeah, yeah. There's a ton of artists who I've seen. I mean, obviously the Black Eyed Peas make great music, but when I saw them live, I was like, "Oh, they make
Yeah.
great music." There's so many artists who I've been sold on from an amazing live show, and that connection is there instantly. I feel like with music, you listen to the music, you can like a song, but it's the experience that you have in connection to the song. Everyone likes when when they were a kid and riding in the back seat, they're listening to a song and they feel like they're in a movie. It's that moment. But a live show is boom, it's the song and all in one. You can't
Yeah.
beat it. You can't beat it.
But last one, you say favorite cartoon was Naruto. I got a couple of issues with this one.
Okay,
Oh
So
let's go. Let's
gosh.
go.
so Naruto, why Naruto? It's so long.
That's crazy because I'm a One Piece fan. So
Oh my god.
I'm One Piece fan, so I'm on the spoilers, man. I'm up to date. Yeah, cartoons. I mean, I did like Cartoon Network, and probably if I thought about it a little bit more, but that would defeated the rapid fire, I would have said Ed, Ed and Eddie. Because growing up, like after school, it was boom, come home, 30 minutes, Ed, Ed and Eddie. Um, but Naruto, I'm a huge, 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 huge anime nerd. So Naruto was what put me on those Linkin Park AMVs with the that's how I found out about Naruto and then the
See,
whole world of
see
anime.
now, people must have loved you because they'd be like, "Oh, he can wait. He waited for Naruto. He waited for One Piece. Like he can wait."
I'm a patient man, I am.
Now let me stop. I'm just kidding, but no, everything is great. And Charles Gambino, I would love to see a documentary. Like honestly,
Yeah, I think he's a big outside of just being one of my favorite artists, a big role model because he has so much artistic freedom. Like when I think about the last album he dropped, Band of Stone, which was mostly hip hop, but then Awaken My Love before that was just a complete funk album. Like just completely funk. And then just the flexibility he has where he can drop any type of song and the ability he has to do good, to do any type of song well. That combo is like amazing. Because what if I want to wake up and I don't want to rap? I want to just like do a funk screech on a song. Like
yeah.
I need people to not look at me crazy.
I would say he makes a strong case for being one of the only rappers who can act and at this and do comedy. I think he's one of the only one that does comedy out of
Yeah,
any
yeah.
rapper.
Comedy, acting, directing.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's outstanding.
But those are all the questions we have for you today. Thank you so much again. Y'all go please follow Esper on TikTok, Instagram,
Please.
Spotify, Apple Music,
All of that.
any platform you want to world and find him, like, subscribe, repost all that.
Yep. The web actually I have a website. It's esper.world.
There you
So
go.
boom.
Go to esper.world, open three browsers, esper.world on each one.